What's going on, my beautiful people? Welcome to Embrace the Journey podcast. I am your host, Alexis Forteza. And on today's episode, I can officially say that I have my first pastor ever. Crazy, right? Please welcome. You guys going to get to know Gene Jackson. He is a pastor out in the West Coast, y'all, at a church called the Ship Forward Church. Again, all the information is below as well. He does mention more about his church in the episode. But I gotta say, first of all, thank you so much, Gene, for being a guest on my show. Your light and your personality shines through. And let me tell you guys, I know that you will be inspired by Gene's wisdom, his realness, his authenticity, his humor, and just the advice that he gives us all. I enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoy it too. Again, y'all know what the drill is. All the information is below. And without further ado, without me rambling on, okay, let's give a warm welcome to Gene Jackson on Embrace the Journey podcast. And gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to the one and only Gene Jackson to Embrace the Journey podcast. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing good today. I've come off a wonderful Sunday and it's just flown into my Monday. So I couldn't even complain today. It's going well. Thank you.
That's good. Hey, that's when you know you've had an actual like restful Sunday. Like you're like, I feel recharged.
Mm-hmm.
So I do gotta say though, you get this crown. So on Embrace the Journey podcast, you get this one crown. You're
Okay.
actually the first pastor that I've had as a guest.
Ah, let's go. Let's go. I love it. I love it. That's a win. I'm happy to be the first. Hopefully I'm not the last, but since I'm the first, we're gonna make this a special one there. We're gonna make this
Listen,
a special one with Pastor Gene today. Then I love it. I love it. Let's do it.
I had to tell you that I was like, wait a second. He's the first one. So hey, you the first. I hope it's not you're not the only one, but you are the first. So
Yes.
hats off to you.
Thank you.
Um, so I wanna let's dive into that. Since you are my first pastor, I always ask, or I'm always curious because I am somebody who found God outside of the church. I didn't
Yeah.
grow up in church. I think I maybe could have counted on my hand, and I didn't even fill up a hand, honestly, the amount of times I went to church as a child.
Yes.
So, was pastoring something that you've always wanted to do? Was it something like your parents are like, listen, you got to go down this route or else?
Oh, I love that question. First off, no, that was not my parents' mindset at all. They weren't those type of people. Before the church, before I started pastoring, my path was very artistic. I went to performing arts school, grew up playing instruments, several instruments, theater, dance, comedy, you name it. And my parents were amazing at making sure that they steward my gifts very well. They did a very good job of pouring into me, cultivating the gifts that I had. So as I grew, it was just naturally for me to continue to grow in that direction. And that's what I did. After high school, went and started touring, did comedy all the way until I was 24. I'm 28 now, so did comedy for several years. And then when I turned 24, I felt a call back to ministry. I say back to ministry because I would like to say that I was in ministry and then I experienced some church hurt that pushed me away from the church. And during that time though, I felt that I needed healing. God gave it to me. He gave it to me through the gifts that he had given to me. And I say that, let me explain, because every production that I did during that season of my life, it ministered to my hurt. It gave me clarity to what I was going through. It allowed me to heal in a healthy way. I take that as a win because a lot of healing, sometimes people do it and it's toxic. It is a negative form of healing. And when they come out of that healing, they're stuck with these negative tendencies that now they have to shake those off as well. But thankfully, my healing was positive and healthy enough that once that was done in 2021, when I felt God calling me back, and I had a conversation with my father at the time, and it was just a beautiful transition for me to go to where from where I was to come right back to the church. And when I came back, I just started serving anywhere I could. I served in sound, served in children's church, served with the choir. I was I helped. I was showing up on Thursday nights to help direct the choir. Anything that I could do to, where y'all need me. You need me to move this water? Okay, I'll move it up wherever my my assistance was called on. I showed up. And later on in 2021, God started calling me back to communicating the gospel. And from 2021 up until now, I have been doing so. My ordination to become lead pastor of the Ship Church took place in 2022, December 2nd. And since then, God has just been growing me in that gift, growing our church. And as we say here, we're a place of fellowship, worship, and discipleship. FWD, you put that together and you are moving forward. And we believe that God is moving us forward. And that is all I've seen since I said yes and came back. He's just been excelling in moving me in a forward direction. And I'm very thankful for that.
Wow. That's such a full circle story. How that's landing on me, because here you are, you were aware of the church and all that. And then you're like, you know what? I got a bad taste in my mouth, which a lot of people do. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I'll dive in a little bit there.
Yes.
And then now you come back, and I have noticed, I did notice when I found your socials, I was like, he's funny, but you, in your venture off, you did a little bit of comedy. I'm like, oh, it all makes sense. And listen, God don't waste nothing.
He don't waste nothing. Nothing. Absolutely. He don't waste not a thing.
So I can see, just from me looking from the outside in, I can see how that time away you now use to
Mm-hmm.
get the message across. Because
Yes.
honestly, sometimes the message, it's a little heavy. So I always admire people who can make it a little bit funny,
Yes.
um, just to kind of digest a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What do you, I mean, okay, so church hurt. Me being, from the world, and coming into the church, I noticed there was a lot of church hurt that I kind of was aware of, and I realized, I was like, oh man, this is a thing. I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah.
Um, how did you and you're so right. Some people do go to unhealthy measures to soothe that pain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what would like what were some of the things that you utilized to kind of help heal that, and did you feel a tug to do like some not so healthy things to get over it? Or was it just like, nope, I'm gonna do all the good stuff? Or, because we're human. So
Yeah. No. During that time, it was um art that gave me a healing. Like I said, I love art. Art is something that when I look at scripture, I see scripture so beautifully in an artistic way, especially when you read Psalms. Like David is he if David was alive today, he'd be in a studio somewhere cranking out some amazing hits. Um, his words are so beautiful. All of the psalmists, of those who helped write different psalms, just the way that it's crafted is done so well. And you see that David experienced hurt as well. He was like, my soul is in anguish. And it's like, yo, this dude he's going through pain. But it was him using that pain and bringing it to God. And that's what I did. I brought my pain to him. You can bring your pain to a lot of places, but you won't get the type of care that you will when you bring it to God. Cast all your cares on him because he cares for you. And a lot of people, they will take the cast, but they're not gonna receive what you do, what you're going through, because they care for you. Some people just nosy. Some people just want to know your business. And so you cast all these cares and all these problems onto people, or you cast them on the substances, and you cast them in all these different directions, and the return is never profitable. But when you cast it to God, you say, God, here, and that's what I did. I'm giving this to you. I'm gonna do what I'm going to use my gifts. I'm going to do theater and music during this time. But God, I am casting my cares on you, because I know you care for me and you're going to do something with it. And that was something that I was intentional about, because the truth is, a lot of people get hurt, and they cast that hurt in different directions to people, and then people use that hurt to throw it in their face. They cast that hurt or whatever they're trying to process into places that are not profitable. And I was thankful enough that with the wisdom that I had gained beforehand, knowing that when you hit these moments, okay, it wasn't a problem for me to go, God, I'm coming to you with I'm coming to you with this. This is what I'm dealing with, and I'm going to come to you with this. I need your help. God, I need you to help me process. Why would these people do this? Why would this situation happen? God, I'm going to give it to you. And that's the best advice that I can give to anyone, because church hurt is inevitable, just like restaurant hurt is inevitable, just like gas station hurt is inevitable, just like grocery store hurt is inevitable. You go to the grocery store, someone is going for the avocado. That was my avocado. I wanted the last one, but I'm hurt now. So it's inevitable. We're going to get hurt in multiple places. And when you get hurt at church, the best thing that you can do is to bring it to God, because the church is filled not with perfect people, but with progressing people, people who are only here because we come into the one who is perfect, and that's Jesus. And so when I understood that, as I went through that process, it made it easy for me. And that's my advice to anybody. Bring it to God. You got, just give it, submit it to him, because he's big enough to handle our problems. And that's something that I love, that our God is big enough to handle everything that we have. He's big enough for our anger. You're not going to scare God with being angry. You're not going to scare God with being confused. You're not going to come to God like, God, I'm confused, do something. And God's going to look at you like, ah, hey, woo,
I don't know.
I've been existing for eternity, but this problem here seems a little bit rough for me to handle. Absolutely not. So that's my encouragement, because it worked for me. That is just something that worked for me. And so if I was to say that to anybody, if you have experienced hurt in the church, bring it to God and allow him to work through that. Allow him, okay, in his word, allow him to give you the remedy. And sometimes he uses people. Like I said, I had directors, and they didn't even know they were ministering to me. They were like, you should try this acting choice. I was like, yeah, because that's exactly how I feel right now. The perfect choice. And so he'll use people to help us process, but make sure the people are positive people. Make sure you're not going with some goofballs, as I call them. Make sure you're kicking it with people who are God's children, because during those times, goofballs will pour goofiness into you, but God's children will pour his goodness into you.
Listen, that's very true, because being from my perspective, I come from not coming to church, not growing up in them, but I realized, I guess I had a different perspective. Like, oh my gosh, like I thought the church was, oh, everyone just never disappoints you. But like you said, people are people.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. Like it doesn't matter what the title is. People are imperfect, and you're very right, because. And what I want to encourage anybody is that God is not just in the four walls of
Yeah.
that church. He's everywhere. Like I know for me, I think what it sounds like to healing with God is bringing him into everything. Not
Mm-hmm.
just like this subject, not this stuff, everything. Your bank account, your
Yep.
feelings, your diet, your boss, how do you write emails, your attitude, everything. And I feel like that's what he wants. He wants to be in it with you, not, hey, I'll just call on you when I feel like it. Because you don't know. I wish people would understand that more, because something as simple as there are sometimes I get some emails and I'm just like, I know how I want to respond.
Mm-hmm.
But Lord, help me with my word choice, please. And it works.
Yeah.
It works.
Yes,
But
it
you
does.
gotta, I think the key ingredient, and I want to see if you agree, you gotta want to.
Yeah, yeah. You do have to want to, because that is that's the first step in wanting to. But then I will say, and you have to know that is where I bring it, even when I don't want to. Like
Mm,
I want to come to God, and even when I don't want to, I still have to come to God. Wants are very fickle sometimes. Our wants can lead us into a donut binge at Krispy Kreme donut, or because I want me a maple old fashioned right now, or okay, that want can have me going, you know what? I need, I know that's my want. I need to go to the gym and work this out. And I think this is the same when it comes to these heavy moments where we go, it's easy. I want to come to God when everything going good. I want to come to Jesus. Hey, it's awesome. Yeah, yeah. But it's in those moments where I'm challenged to go, now, this is what I want to ask this person to meet me in the parking lot so I can lay hands on them, but I won't be praying. But I need to have patience and kindness and self-control. And so even when I don't want to, I have to realize, and that's even when we don't want to, we have to realize this is what I need to do. I don't want to. As we enter this beautiful season of resurrection, Palm Sundays in a couple of weeks, Jesus, when he's in the garden, he doesn't want to go to the cross. He goes, if this cup can pass away, I pass this cup. I don't want to do this. But even when he's dealing with something that he doesn't want to do, he knows that I need to go to the Father. I need to submit this to you. I don't want to. If it's your will, okay, I don't want to do this. I don't want, this is too much for me right now. I don't want to. And even in those moments, there's a theologian that calls this the Gethsemane mindset, where we all have those moments daily that Jesus had in the Garden of Gethsemane, where we go, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be the bigger person when this person is hurting me. I don't want to trust God because I've been hurt before, but I need to trust him. I need to be kind. I don't want to have humility when this person, when they were in this position and life was going good for them, they made sure that everybody knew about it. But now they're going through some problems, and now they don't want to act the same way. They don't want to keep that same energy. But now things are going good for me, and I want to be like, but I need, okay, to be the head in this situation. I need to be above in this situation and just handle it with grace. Okay, I'm praying for them. And so even when we don't want to, we have to understand that God, I need to come to you. I need to submit this to you, because that's how our Savior rode. He did the same thing when he did not want to. In his humanity, divinity, him being God in flesh. I'm still going to come to the Father. And so that is a crossroads that we on the daily are met with. And some days we do what we want to do. That's his grace is sufficient. He there. And but it's those moments where when we come back and go, oh, I did what I wanted to. God forgive me. And the next, now when this happened again, I'm going to do what I need to do, and that's come to you, because you're my help. You're more than enough, and you're going to give me everything that I need to get through this.
Listen, if I could count, because God found me at 20, it's 27 or 28, one of the two. It's getting a little fuzzy now. And up until now, I mean, every year, I kid you not, it's like I get more sensitive to the spirit. Like, don't do that. You know better. But like, I'll be honest, I'll keep it 100. I have the urges to be very petty. I'm like, oh, I just want to be petty right now. Like, I have ammo. Like, do you see what they do? Like, I'm one of those. I'm like a sniper. I can be a sniper sometimes. And even like the minute I have a thought, it's like I can feel him go like, now I understand why you feel like that. But is that going to be the best option? And just that question alone, I'd be like, you know what? Fine. I guess I'll just take the high road. And it's a muscle. I always tell people it's like you go to the gym. If you're gonna go to the gym or even reading a book, reading trains your mind. You go to the gym, you train your muscles. That whole like not doing what you feel like doing, that's a muscle. You gotta train that. And the only way that you can train it is by being in situations and him kind of testing you like, hey, what you gonna do now? You gotta go back to that job, and I know you don't like that boss because they talk to you sideways.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? So listen, that's one of my things of encouragement. It's like you're not, and you're never gonna be perfect. I'm
Nope.
pretty sure you've still got days where you're like, because you a whole pastor and you're probably like, listen, I definitely messed up today.
And that's why I say you want God's children in your life and not goofballs, because on those days he has put godly people. My wife, for example, there are moments where we'll be in traffic and the person in front of me has done something very goofy. And I'm like, yo, you ain't got nowhere to go for the next 3 exits. You in that far lane, buddy. I can stare right at you this whole time. You can roll the window down. We can have a conversation, okay? But it's in those moments where when you have God's children in your life, and my wife should not no, we're not on that today. And people who quick they grab your attention, okay? And that's the profit, that's the win, because like you said, we're not perfect, okay? We are all simply just progressing. We're just better today than we were yesterday, and hopefully we'll be better tomorrow than we are today. And when we have people who are able to catch us, people to go, hold up, they don't feed into it, they don't go, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, yeah, get them, but they go, hold up, let's reel that in, okay? Because we are weak, we do fumble, but that's the beautiful part about not doing life alone. You know, when you do life alone, it's hard. When you have people to come around you, you have a community around you, a community of people who are his children. I don't need goofballs around me. I've been around goofy people. I've ended up in goofy situations, and I've had to take on the consequences of the goofiness. I don't want that anymore. But I've seen the betterment, the win of being around God's children, our brothers and sisters who are like, yo, hey, was that the right thing to say? Yo, should you have done that? Like, oh, okay. You need that, because those are the people who act as those blinders in this race. They keep us focused. All right, and you want people to keep you focused, because if not, you're gonna fumble. And on those days that we do fumble, his grace is sufficient. That's what forgiveness is for the fumble. I did snap on that person. The fumble. I did go back in some ways that I was supposed to be progressing in. That's what forgiveness is there for, because he knows that we wouldn't be perfect, and he knows he knew that we were going to fumble on some days. And that's the beauty about being in a community and having a team around you, people who love you, people who want the best for you, people who want to pour God's word in you and just not gossip what they heard on the shade room or TikTok. But do you know Proverbs? Because some days I need wisdom. I don't need a thread. Okay. I need so do you know the gospel? Some days I need to hear his word. Okay. I don't need no thread right now. I don't need no, this how I saw so-and-so handle it on TikTok. No, I need to trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him and he'll direct your path. I don't need a money bag yo verse right now. I need a, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil.
Listen,
Listen, it's those days that you see the win of being in community with God's children. GCs over goofballs any day.
I love that you call them goofballs. I call them something else. It's not appropriate and I won't say it, but yeah, goofballs, let me tell you, because
Goofballs.
like, but you bring a point, and I think this is a problem I know I'm seeing, personally. This whole self-love, self everything movement. I I believe, yes, there is a big importance of understanding you, like loving yourself and all of those things and healing and all the things. I do think though, and I know it says it somewhere, I think it's in Revelation. I think it is. Where like men become lovers of themselves. And that verse always sticks with me now, because I'm like, people are literally, I'm gonna do life by myself. I don't need nobody. And then when someone does offer them correction, they're like, no, you're trying to control me. So how can we help people that don't see themselves
Yeah.
and take correction as control when really it's a loving correction? Like, hey, I've noticed you're a little bit snappy around this kind of person. Maybe they aren't your friend. What you mean? That's been my friend since I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm realizing, and I don't know if COVID was part of it, but a lot of people have become so sheltered with
Yeah.
themselves that receiving community and correction is like, no, you're trying to control me. Nah.
Mhm.
And it's like, no, I'm trying to love you, and I don't know what to do now.
Yeah. I I love how you point out that the self-love, I let's just start at self-love. There's nothing wrong with loving you, but it's where the source of love about you is coming from. Self-love is beautiful, but it has where's the source? It has to, where's the source of loving yourself? um 1 John 4:8 says God is love. So that's the standard of what love is. God, he identifies. There's a box on an application, and God was like, I need a job, and he was filling out the box and say he, him, his, she, her, hers, they, them, theirs. God would have to open up another box and mark love, because that's what he identifies as. He identifies as love. And so the standard is, well, where's this self-love? Because if it starts with God, then wonderful, because God is love. And then we're created in his image. And so if your self-love is the source of God, you created me, it's directed right back to him. God, you created me. That's why I have this love for myself so much. God, I'm an imago Dei, an image of you. That's why I was created in his image. So when I look at myself, I'm not looking at my regrets. I'm not looking at my mistakes. I'm not looking at my errors or my flaws or my teeth. But when I look in the mirror, I should be encouraged to know that God, you took your time when you made me. Okay. Same way you took your time when you made the earth. I look like my father. I look like you. And so if our source of love is coming from there, wonderful. Corinthians 13 breaks down love is kind, love is patient. And so we have all these things to identify first and break down what is love. Okay. Is what does love look like? What does love sound like? What does love act like? Now, if my self-love don't align with any of those things, okay, I'm not in love. Okay, I don't have self-love. I have self-lust. I just find myself sexy and appealing. I just find myself cute. But if that's our source, and that's the wrong type of love that we should have for ourselves. But if it's starting with him, that's the epitome of what our love should be like. That's the standard. Now, when it comes to us being unisolated and showing love to other people, and showing that kind correction, I've noticed that the best type of correction that we can give is personal. Maybe
Mhm.
it's over a cup of coffee, maybe it's chilling, maybe no one wants to hear that their cooking is bad while you're eating their food. Wait about a week later, remind them, you remember that meal, man, remember that meal we ate?
Right.
Hey,
It's like read the room. Read
read
the
the room. You remember that ham sandwich you made, man? I need to let you know. You gotta add extra mayo when you make one for me. It was a little dry, but it's how we give it. Jesus says, my brother offends me, first go to him. Don't add nobody. Don't go to them first. Him or her. Pull them aside. Let's go. Let's kick it today. Okay, I'm just not calling you on the phone. I need to let you know how you did what you did. No, it is all in how it's packaged. And more than ever, we live in a time that is so sensitive. Hey, we're sensitive. We're a sensitive generation. We are very, people get offended easily. I understand. Okay, if I have made it out of a panini as well, I'd be in my feelings about myself too. If I survived a whole Panda Express, I would be like, you know what? I'm sensitive about my feelings as well. Erica Badu once said that I am an artist and I'm sensitive about my stuff. Okay. But we as humans, we're sensitive about our stuff. We're sensitive about things. And so we have to understand that we want to package it in a way that is palatable for people. Can you digest this truth? All right. Can I pull you to the side? Let me break it down for you. And love someone enough, no matter how much you have to break it down. Because if you really want to see someone change and you want to see someone digest what you're giving them, even if you have to mush it up, parents, they do this all the time. They know the food is good and that the baby needs the food, but they'll mush that. They're not gonna give that baby a whole piece of bacon. They're gonna mush that baby, chew on it a little, put it back on a spoon, and then give it to the person because they love that child so much. There are times in our relationships with the love that we have for people, we have to be baby sensitive. And that's okay if you love them. If you don't care about the relationship, so what? Tell them like it is. Okay, tell it like it is, and go about your day. All right, your food nasty. God bless you. I see you later. But if you care about that person, do it in a way. Do it in a way that's caring. Do it in a way that's kind. Do it in a way that lines up to the standard of love that's in 1 Corinthians 13. Meaning that if you don't get it on the first try, I'm gonna have to be patient with you. So this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that I like my bread. I like my bread mayo and with the mustard. You just gave me bread. You know, so you saying I can't cook. I'm not saying you can't cook. I'm saying that when it comes to I like it. Mayonnaise on one side. But that's how I like. Well, I don't like my sandwiches like that. Even if it takes time, because love is patient. And so we have to be ready. If you're ready, if you're going to have these conversations about correction and encouraging and being there for someone, you're going to have to be ready to have everything else that 1 Corinthians 13 says come with love. Because if you didn't love that person, you wouldn't be trying to correct that person. Obviously, you love them. And so you have to be ready for that. And so I think it ties into what we're defining love as. Yeah, what is love? God is love. When God corrects us, he's patient. You're gonna have to keep that same energy. When God corrects us, he's kind. You're going to have to keep that same energy. When God corrects us, he's loving. You're going to have to keep that same energy. But it's the challenge of us being individuals who I just want to get it off. I just want to tell you and you change. That's not how it works. And so I believe it in the time that we live in where people are so sensitive. If we're going to have hard conversations, we are also going to have to be prepared to do the hard work. And we want to do hard conversations with easy work, and it don't work like that. It don't work like that, sis. It simply doesn't. Hard conversations come with hard work, but out of hard work come beautiful results. And that's if the enemy can prevent anything when it comes to our relationships and friendships, it's the result. He don't want you to see the result. That's why he wants you to go to Krispy Kreme and not to the gym so you can see the results of the abs. That's why he wants you to snap on the person so you don't get the result of the beauty of us saying we worked through that. You saw how we navigated that thing. Were you talking years later because the friendship has grown and you like, man, you remember in 2024 where we had that moment and I was trying to and we worked through that. Now look at this beautiful result of a friendship that is filled with harmony, filled with kindness. We on a cord, we rocking with each other. Okay, we are the definition of iron sharpening iron. Look at us now. And if he can prevent that from happening, he will, because that's a result he doesn't want. He doesn't want us to be in community. He wants to I had this conversation with my wife this weekend. I said, we started talking. I said, Dad, ain't that crazy? Like the devil goofy. Like he really out here killing, stealing, and destroying. And he will do by all means to get those three things done. So if he has to cause you to have the conversation brash, I'm just gonna tell this person like it is. I'm gonna tell him. And now they're offended. He's killed a friendship. He's stolen memories that you two could have had with each other, and he's destroyed a bond that now, if you want, it can be put back together. But sometimes bonds after conversations that are difficult, they're just destroyed. People are like, I'm not coming back to this. And so if he can do that across the board, he will. And the and that's just the goofiness he owned. He owned that. He owned that time. He been on that time. He like he like, I love it. Like you's a goofball.
And we keep falling for it too.
And
It's like, don't we learn? Don't we learn? Man, listen. It's like I don't. I mean, Man, everything you said, because there and yes, we live in a very sensitive world, and I think a lot of us are coming from generations of like homes where nothing was discussed, so a
Mhm.
lot of our emotional needs were not met. Now we don't know how to say, hey, I need this, or hey, can you say it in this tone? Because I always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Wow, yeah, that's true.
And I can't tell you the amount of times where I wanted to be like harsh. I'd be like, listen, I'm about to tell this person, like, you got one more shot. That's it. And then of course you can just feel the Holy Spirit like, relax. Just
Hmm.
and I've noticed this too in my 5, 6 years of walking with God. If I can receive his correction and know what that sounds like, I should be able to discern what correction is. Because there's God could say 2 words and I'd be like, got it, noted. So I almost feel like the problem is like a lot, like you said, there we're not connected. That vertical source
Hmm.
is off, is
Yeah.
lacking. So then of course you meet somebody who and we see it all the time on social media. Oh, y'all fumble your blessings.
Whew.
Like you really could fumble a blessing, aka a person
Yeah.
that God sends to you to help heal you because you can't recognize correction. You say, now you're trying to control me and change me. No, because I'm pretty sure God's being kind and sending this person, because if he would tell you straight up what it was,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I mean, you and your wife, I'm pretty sure you both have corrected each other
Hmm.
multiple times throughout your marriage.
Yeah.
It's normal. And like, I mean, I feel like in our generation, this is a problem. Um, Like, for instance, when your wife corrects you, has there ever been a time when you're like, "Nah, I didn't receive that today." Mm-mm. And then the next day you're like, "Sorry, babe. I see what you're saying now. It
Abs-
took you some time to digest."
it happened. It happened yesterday. And in those moments, where it happened, I would give you the scenario. We we're getting ready for church. I usually I'm like, you know what? I try to get to the gym. I'm somebody I will get to the gym before church just to work out. Workout and worship are my two favorite things in the morning. And so I'm in the gym listening to worship. I'm Lord, thank you. Let's go. And before I left, she said, you gonna go to church? You gonna go to the excuse me, you gonna go to the gym? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I don't think we got enough time for the gym today. I'm like, no, I got enough time for the gym today. I'm like, she tripping. Girl, I'm getting ready. And my wife goes, we need to go now. I said, what do you mean? We don't have to be there till 10:15. She said, did you forget? We have to be there at 10 o'clock today. This is what I meant when I said we did not have time for you to go to the gym today. And in that moment, I could have flared up like, oh, you try. See, no. I could have, but it's being humble. I said, you right. Oh my goodness. I am sorry. I said, you're right, babe. I'm sorry. You were absolutely right. I should have listened to you. I should have listened to you instead of trying to figure out why you trying to tell me I can't go to the gym this morning. And it's in those moments of us just having enough humility. You right. You know how much a you right can do for relationships or friend? You right. Because the people be right. The people you right. You are you're correct. That was on the money. You right. I'm sorry. And we enjoyed the rest of our day. Now, Alexis, imagine where the Sunday goes when she goes, we gotta go. And I'm like, nah, I'm still gonna take my time. Nah, you out here. We in a whole other direction that doesn't even need to go there. And that's the tool again of us understanding what First Corinthians 13 really is, what all these attributes that love is. That's the vertical. You got to be vertically correct because then it makes our horizontal relationship so much more better. You like, oh, let me just be humble. You right, baby. Cool. You were absolutely right, and I now know. I remember. I got you. Thank you for helping me because that's all someone who's trying to do if they love you. Now, someone is. This is something that people because you spoke to past things. When I hear you say family, not speaking up for our needs, us us evaluating how we were treated in our past. And sometimes we'll bring that to people. Ain't nobody else ever gonna do that to me. Ain't nobody ever gonna tell me how I do stuff. My mama did that. My daddy did that. Listen, you ain't. All right. Now I want you to reflect on what you said. My mama did that. My daddy did that. So-and-so did that. Is that the person who's speaking to you now? If not, give them a clean slate. If not, give them the prize of your trust, the prize and the reward of going, you know what? You're not them. So let me not even evaluate. I got some stuff to look for. I got some red, I have red flags. Holy Spirit, he's going to, hey, that's a red flag. They are trying to dress you in the morning. They laid your clothes out and you went and grabbed a hoodie and they said, no, your clothes on the bed. Red flag. Hold up. You need to, okay, right. Y'all at the restaurant and the waiter came and they said, I'm going to be having this. And when you went to open up your mouth, they said, and they'll be having this. These are red flags. They doing some stuff. Okay. They not taking in your opinion and okay, red flag. But if it's nothing like that, and they're not the people that caused you to be in that position, give them the prize of a clean slate and just trust until otherwise proven that, you know what, you have the best intentions for me. You're trying to correct me because you see some stuff that I don't. You see trouble areas. You're spotting me. That's what we need spotters in the gym for, because spotters are there to help you when the weight gets heavy, when they see your form is a little bit off, so they help you adjust the weight. They see when you come up off of the bench. All right, you pressing that weight and your hand, let me help you there. You don't get mad at the spotter. So don't get mad at the corrector. Don't get mad at the person who's just trying to help adjust so you can have the best outcome as possible. So as you move forward, mistakes that were made before, they don't pop up again. And that's what I love. And that's what I love about giving people that clean slate of trust. This is a clean slate. You didn't do what they did. So let me not hold you up to the same rules and the same, I'm gonna treat you I'm gonna be on the I'm not letting nobody in. Nah, they did that to me. No. They did that to you, but this person is a whole other person. So receive that, receive their correction, receive that encouragement, receive that that kind adjusting that people who God has put in your life. Yes. He sent these people sometimes. And I love how you said that you might be messing up because someone who God sent, he sent this person to be your adjuster, to help you, to help guide you, to go alongside of you. And in those moments where you get upset with them, what you might be hindering is someone who is really here for you, who's trying to help you. And now they feel too intimidated to speak up and let you know, because they go, every time I try to tell this person, listen, don't do that, they get upset with me. They start saying things to me. They start hurting me. They begin to flare up. You know what? So be it. But whatever happened, I'm just gonna let them do it. You on your own. You could be hindering someone who's really just trying to help you and not trying to hurt you like others did, but want to help you, want to see you, want to have your back. Someone who wants the best outcome for your life. And so receive people that clean slate. It will always, until proven otherwise. Now, this that goofball. Now, when they start acting goofy, they start acting like GBs, some goofballs. Go ahead. But as long as they GCs, they God's children. Come on. Let me listen to you. Let me hear what you got to say. Okay.
Listen, if there's a common theme on my podcast with every guest, it is don't fumble a blessing, because I can't tell you, and everyone has like their own healing journey. Of course, I had a moment in my life where I was like, I don't trust nobody. God worked on my heart. Now I'm able to give from a place of love because I know where to go to fill it.
Yeah.
I think that's another problem. People don't know where to go to fill their tank, but so
that's that. We talked about that.
Source.
Yeah. They just get in that. You got to rewind. Okay, we got to rewind the pod. All right, listen to what we just said several minutes prior to this. That you got it vertical. That's the source. Okay,
you right. That's why I don't run dry. I know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you the amount of people that God has kind of like put in my life Because it's it's a two-way street. And he shows me like, wow, like I'm in this healed place and they can't receive it. It is like I always have like this analogy. It's like they look at their life, they have like these goggles on and they're so scratched that you can't tell what's coming and what's going. So everything looks bad. I'm in danger. And it's like, hey, your lenses are scratched. I'm telling you they're scratched. And now you're getting defensive because you have been in this view and this perspective of life and no one's told you but me.
Yes.
Well, and that's why I think it is important to recognize, all right, these people are goofballs or they cannot receive my love. That's when you can be like, all right, well, I'm gonna go take this because at that point it's out of your hands.
Yeah.
Because and I'm starting to see this dichotomy of like, okay, the phrase that gets me all the time is, but God knows my heart, but you still rude and you don't listen. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm, the perspective I'm coming from, I'm like, I've only had a relationship with God. I read the Bible myself. So I've really like absorbed like, man, some of these phrases that these people be saying, I don't know God, because see, I know you and I can't come to you going, well, you know my heart, so I'm gonna be rude today. But like you said, 1 Corinthians 13, which is my favorite, one of my favorite verses.
Wow.
Like you can't tell me that if you're really operating out of love, that you don't start changing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hear this a lot, especially like millennials and the Gen Zers and whatever else comes after that. I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
I've lost the terms. But I keep hearing and seeing this mentality of, but this is just how I am.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna get very far with that mindset.
No.
Like, and
No.
that's what worries me getting older and seeing the world as it is. I'm just like, man, like I can hold space for sensitivity. I can hold space for your trauma. I can hold space for the broken areas.
Yeah.
But this is how I am. Ooh, child. It makes it hard for us who are loving. That makes it real hard because I always tell people, I said, baby, I'm not Jesus.
Hey, hey.
I follow him and I need to rely on him because I know how I can be, but
Yes.
I'm not him.
Ooh,
So don't try me.
ooh. I'm just a follower. Okay. I'm not. Listen, that's it. I just follow him, and so and I don't want you to get it confused. Okay, and thinking okay, because only the Lord said turn the other cheek. Baby, only got two, and that year, bye bye. Since I'm just a follower. Sometimes I stumble back, and after I go, Lord, they done hit both of them. I done turn both. Now I gotta square up with you, okay? Because you're right. I'm a follower. I'm a follower of Jesus, okay? But I ain't Jesus, all right? And for some people, when we say, when we hear, and I've even said, God knows my heart. When we say that, yes, He knows your heart. But then the question is, okay, He knows your heart, but is He renewing your heart?
Mm.
Okay, I'm glad. Oh my goodness. I'm glad God knows your heart. Yay. Oh, he knows your heart. That's beautiful. That is a win. He knows your heart. The Bible says he knows how many hairs that are on our head. He knows our inner. He knows it all. So yes, he should know your heart. He put it there. Okay. But the question is he renewing your heart? Because when it came to David, he said, creating me a pure heart. And so there's a thing that I have to do that I can say he know my heart all day, but I also have to ask him, Lord, and renew my heart, create in me a clean heart. Since you know my heart, then you know what's in my heart. Then you know my heart. You know the words that are in my heart that I should not say. You know the websites that are in my heart that I should not view. You know that activities that are in my heart that I should not do. So yes, God, you know my heart. Now, what I need you to do is creating me a clean heart. And when that happens, it's the constant, the renew. God, I need you to continue. This ain't no one time. This ain't a one-time clean house cleaning service. This is a eternal cleaning service that until my heart is now surrounded, and I feel the presence of the Lord because I've gone from earth to eternity. God, while I'm here, I need you daily, creating me a clean heart because you know my heart. And since he knows our hearts, and we have to ask for that renewal, that clean heart. It's the challenge for some people. Do you want your heart to be renewed? Do you want your heart to be? Do you want a pure heart? Because if you don't, then yes, he know your heart. And since he know your heart, he knew you was gonna say that goofy stuff. Since he know your heart, he knew you was gonna act goofy. He knew you was gonna do that stuff. Okay, yes, he knows your heart. But how longer do you want to keep breaking his heart? How, because he keep telling you to do stuff. So he know your heart. And the question is, do you know his? Because if you knew his heart, you would know how much what you're doing is breaking his heart. You would know that if I do this, it's gonna break his heart. So yes, he knows your heart. But the response then is, but do you know his heart? If you know his heart, you know that he don't want that stuff for you. He does not want, okay, for you to subject yourself to a relationship that doesn't bring him glory. He knows that if you know his heart, then you know he doesn't want you to act in a way that also doesn't destroy your character, but it gives bad representation of who your God is. If you know his heart, then before you even do something, you go, dang, God, is this gonna break your heart? Because darn it, if it is gonna break your heart, help me not to do it. And clean whatever is in me, whatever. Hey, I am the way I am. Yes. But in him, I'm a new creature. So yeah, I am. You can sound like Popeye all day. I am what I am. Awesome. But in him, you're a new creation. In him, you're the old is gone. Okay, the old is passed away, the new has come. And so in him, that's the new stuff. And who would want to keep putting on old clothes when their parents have brought them a whole new wardrobe? You want to keep putting on them old ways? You want to keep wearing them old shoes? Your father done brought you some drip that's new, and you want to keep. So if you know his heart, if you can say he knows my heart, then the question, do you know his heart? And if you do know his heart, then stop breaking his heart. Okay, I felt a mint condition, pretty brown eyes, spirit coming. Quit breaking my heart. Stop breaking his heart. Okay, stop breaking his heart. Because yeah, he knows yours, and he wants to give you a new heart. He wants to give you a new beginning. He wants to for you to see that there's so much more in front of you that's behind you. He wants you to see that as you move forward, it's going to get better as you move forward. Okay, things might be hard, but he'll give you the strength to overcome them. He wants you to know, okay, that as you move forward, there's much more better than there is worse. So keep moving forward in him cleaning your heart, okay? Because he cleans mine on the daily. All right. He renews mine on the daily. He has to stop me from saying stuff, doing stuff on the daily, because that's the best thing about being progressive. And I'm not talking about flow. I'm talking about being a follower. All right. Flow is the progressive stand in for the commercial. Okay. We as believers, we're progressive followers. All right. And just allow him on the daily to make that heart new, to make that heart clean. Because as you move forward, things are going to get better. So keep submitting it to him. God, help me with this. God, I don't want to do this. God, I don't want to act like this. But if you do want to act like this, hey, do you, boo? But it's gonna be bad. So do him, so it can be good.
Listen, I mean, you're right. You're very right. It's, and I tell people, I'm like, you think that God would give me the idea for a podcast if he knew that my mouth was not tame? Now he knows me. I have gone through a process. And I think that's what people don't like to hear is process. Because everything is microwave society. Like, well, look at so and so. They got success in like 3 months. That's what you see. And you don't even know if they have any roots. You don't even know. Listen. And it's a process. It's daily. Sometimes if I'm having one of those days, it's every second. Like, listen, all right, okay, I gotta check my attitude today. And we're human.
Yes.
You're never gonna be perfect, ever. I always tell people that too. I'm like, if you think that you're gonna be perfect after 2 years, let me just disappoint you now and say you never will be perfect, but you will be progressing.
Yeah.
That you will do. Um, what are like since you are the pastor of a church, lead pastor,
Yeah.
what are some of the things that you've noticed in your own congregation, some of the problems that you're seeing and either youth or adult, because honestly, I think adult problems stem from the youth problems. I think it
Mhm.
all travels at once. So what have you been seeing in that realm now that you're a leader that is really troubling people?
I've I see, and this is something that I believe has not just is something that I'm just now seeing, but it's been something that has been visible, that it's all that following Christ means nothing will go wrong. Fo- That's the biggest misconception out there. That following the Lord means that everything is going to be right. Everything is going to go just as we prayed. Everything that we submit to him is going to turn around in a second. And after you finish praying, the answer is going to pull up right onto your doorstep. And it's the hard truth of that's just not how it is. Um, it just doesn't work like that. A couple of months ago, we took a family vacation to Universal Studios, and they give you the behind the scenes, so you're able to see how it really is. You're able to see that it took all this work for King Kong to look like he's actually doing this on the ride. You see all this work that it takes because they want you to know that what you saw in the theaters, that's just not how it is. And us as believers, when we read his word, that's the behind the scenes for a Christian to know. If I thought that this thing would always be easy, if I thought that I would never have a day where my heart is broken, if I thought that I would never have a day where I have a headache because of everything that's going on around me, that's just not how it is. Jesus says, in this life you will have trouble. All right. But take courage, be confident because I've overcome the world. And that's the truth of it, that you're going to encounter trouble, but because Jesus overcame the troubles, so will you. That's the caveat of being a follower of Jesus. That he overcame it, so I could overcome it. And when we finally understand that, we see something that is beautiful in being a follower of Jesus, that where I'm weak, then I'm strong, because it's your strength that allows me to move through these things. That in those moments where things don't go my way, I'm able to be like Paul and say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can be content when I have it. I can be content when I'm broke. I can be content when I'm with somebody. I can be content when I'm single. I can be content with everything going great, and I can be content when everything's going wrong. And a test for me to find that, to see that in myself, I could point to the congregation, but nothing preached better than when you're able to look at yourself and go, God, I'm able to see this, that I thought it would always be easy. I thought that at this part of me in ministry, my father would be right by my side. I'd be able to call him when things got rough, and I'm a lead pastor. Dad, help me. You pastored, and so God, Dad, I need your guidance on this. But that's just not how it is. My father passed away in 2022, and so now I've been on this journey of grieving and growing. But now I have to understand that, God, you've given me the strength to be content when I had my father. You're going to give me the strength to learn that contentment without having my father. You're going to allow me to see that it's going to be troublesome. Sometimes you're going to have rough days, but God, you're good enough. And you're just not good when everything else is good. You're good when it's bad. I've seen that, God, you're good as I see my dad go through his health declining. God, you're good when his health was beautiful. God, you were good when I could call him up. And that, God, you're still good. Even when I'm not able to pick up the phone and FaceTime him. And so understanding that as you come to God, okay, everything won't be perfect. As you follow Jesus, everything ain't gonna always be sunshine, rainbows, sweet teas, and strawberry shortcakes. There are going to be days where you like, Lord, take me now. God, If I know the Bible said that you're gonna crack open the sky, and those who are alive will be caught up with the catch me up now. I order Jesus. I need you. Open the sky. Call me now. It's too much. But even in those moments, he's going to give you the strength to get through. And so for people to understand that, and that's what and from the pulpit articulating that, articulating, hey, you will have rough moments. You will. Okay. But the beauty is that as an old song, all of my good days outweigh my bad days, and so I won't complain. And that's the thread for the Christian. You as you follow Jesus, that dang, I had some bad days, but when all of my good days outweigh my bad days, and that's what causes me to I really can't complain. Man, yeah, it was a little rough, but Lord, you sure did come through when it was all said and done. I guess I can't complain. I guess I can't be too hard. God, you still show up even in the bad, even when it's worse than I ever thought. And when people I'm able to understand that, that's the win. Because I'll just say this: the biggest trick that another big trick that the devil goofs people up when they come to God is they think, okay, I left the world, now I'm coming to God, everything gonna be good. And the moment that something goes bad, they walk away. Oh, whoa, this is not what I thought. No. Okay, you still on earth. You ain't made it to heaven yet. You still living in a fallen world. You still living around goofy people. Okay, so it's going to be some goofiness from time to time, but trust in the Lord. Know that He got something for you. Know that this ain't nothing. Know that, okay, when He got you, He's going to come through for you. And so when I see that in children, and I see that in adults, and in the congregation. And when people grasp that, they are like, you get like a IQ boost. Like you see a storm, you be like, oh, trouble don't last always. Let me get through this thing. You would be like, oh, they that wait on the Lord. Let me He about to renew this strength. Once you understand that, you be like, this is a little test. This that human stuff. I forgot I ain't in heaven yet. I'm still a human. All right, let's go on, get through this. And I know it's gonna be something good when I come through this. And that's the key. People comprehending that.
Yeah, no, like I don't know where that came from. I don't know where the idea of, oh, life is gonna be peachy. Whoever made that, they need to just bury that, because I will say this: God is like, the way I picture it, it's like you watching a basketball game and He comes in at the last 3 seconds and He scores a 3-pointer and you win the game. But the whole time you're like, oh my gosh, we're losing. We're losing. Do you see the score? There's no way that this is going to happen. And then all of a sudden, at the right time, He comes through and you're like, why do I worry? I know for me, one of my things, I'm like, just why do I worry? Because every time He's showing me, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you at the last 3 seconds. What?
And I've had you since the game started. That's the goggles. I've had you since the game started. Since the game began. Okay. You need to take out them goggles. I've had you since tip off. I've had you since they said, since you showed up to the arena. I had you since you laced up. I had you since you grabbed your gym bag and you said, I'm gonna go hoop. I've had you the whole time. Okay. So if I had you at the beginning of the game, trust I'm gonna have you. I got you. I trust I have you. I've had you this entire game. My presence never changed. I didn't just show up to the arena. I've been here. Matter of fact, I was here before you got. I turned the lights on in this thing. I was in here waiting for you to show up. I've been in the stands. I've been in the booth. I was in the booth waiting for you to show up to the suite. I've been in the locker room with you. His presence is unchanging. And when I see that, the prophet says to serve God, open up his eyes so he can see that there are more with us that than who are against us. There's more surrounding us. And the Bible says that when he saw, immediately his eyes was open. He's like, oh, I see. Oh, we got squad with us. I see the Lord done sent the whole gang. We got gang in them with us. His and so his confidence came back. He was reassured. And it's the same for us, that in those games, we need to ask, we need to come to God. That's the source again. If you just hopped in and you still ain't got it yet, we need you to go ahead, rewind, go to the beginning. That's the source. That's me going, okay, God, all right, you've already got the game good. And I'm not, and one thing that has helped me to know that I'm not fighting to win, I'm fighting in a win. Everything else is just extra. I'm not fighting to win. I don't win already. What we've already won. You've already Gatorade has already been poured on you. You've already gotten your championship. You've already won. Okay, Jesus has won it all for us. So I'm playing in a win. And in those days where it get rough, and I'm like, dang, I don't feel like I'm winning. I need to go back. I need to go back to the playbook. Oh, we are winning. I need to go to a teammate and go, remind me, we don't want. We don't already won this thing. I need to go to the coach. Coach, remind me, we've won already. And he gonna remind you, it's already won. It's already done. You're not fighting to win. You've already won. Okay, you daily, you are a winner. Okay, daily as a believer, you win. You win as soon as you wake up. It's a win. You move in that win. Okay, I like to win. Okay, and being a follower of Jesus is the biggest one ever, because I don't have to fight for no win. Okay, I'm just moving in this win, and when I lean on Him, okay, it's them days where I'll be like, nah, I got this. He like, word, you think you gonna win something? You go. You don't need me to. I've won it all. Nah, I got this. I got this. It's those days. It's those days where he has to remember, and it's those days that we take losses because he has to remind us, you're not winning anything. I've already won everything. Just move in my win. Just move in my win. When we take those losses, they're just kind reminders. Him saying, you didn't have to win nothing. I already won it for you. You just have to move in my win. You just have to move, okay, in the victory that's already been won. In the victory that's already been, the scores, the game is over. The scores finalized at the cross. Everything that we've been winning since we've been winning. And so moving that. But when losses, when we do those, as they say, turn my L's into lessons. That's the scriptural good news of Chance the Rapper and Cardi B. And turn my L's into lessons. All right, you turn into a lesson, but remember that you haven't lost anything. That was just a lesson. When you with Jesus, it's always a lesson. And it's a lesson that the Lord is giving you, because He don't want you to have to do that again. He wants you to continue to move in the win. That victory that's already been placed on our life, that's already, okay, been signed, sealed, delivered. It's ours. The moment we say, Jesus, I'm following you, that's you moving in that. Just move forward in that win. And every loss, go, all right, God, I guess you needed me to learn something. And that is, I can't win nothing without you, Jesus. Sheesh, I get it, God. I can't win nothing without you.
It's like, all right, you the coach.
Yes, you're the coach.
I got it. And when it comes to God, and I'll tie up a bow with this.
Yes.
When you lose with God, it really is a win. Mm-hmm. It's not a human loss. Like when you want to do by yourself, when you lose, yeah, you lost. That's on you. But when you take an L, God's like, nah, I'm just setting something up better for you. That's all.
Yes. And so we just moving the wins. We just count these wins up.
Okay? West Side, right?
count your wins.
Count your wins.
Count them up, because it's more wins. Okay, it's more wins than losses for those who are God's children. You got more wins, okay, than losses. And so you just got. I'm just gonna count these wins. I'm winning. God help that area. I'm winning. We winning. All right, and He's been winning. He's been winning since in the beginning. There was a word, and the word was with God. Okay, God was the word. Oh, that's a win. He's been winning since the beginning. And so I would rather.
He's got a great track record.
He got a good track record. He got a good. He like infinity and O right now. He got a good track record.
And we
Yes.
have the audacity to be like, I don't know. I mean, are you sure you have this kind of track record? And he's like,
I, I've been winning.
okay, I'm gonna let you come when you come. I'll come knocking at the door tomorrow.
Yes.
See if you change your mind then. No, that's wonderful. I really don't have I have nothing else to really add. If you want to just say something else for the viewers, I mean, I got a whole word. I know they're gonna get a whole word from you. So I just feel encouraged. I don't know. After you spoke, I just feel very encouraged. And if anyone was hope or I don't know, you all were questioning, like, I don't know, do I want to do this life with God? I think Gene made very good points. He don't lose. He
Mm-mm.
don't lose, baby. So
No. Um, well, let's just I'll end with saying, ditto. I you it's not a loss, okay? You won't lose. And if you're tired of losing and you're tired of Satan all in the music video, you tired of the devil all in the background, okay? Become a follower of Jesus, all right? But it's just here's what it is, all right? Felt a Suge Knight coming on me right now. Felt a Suge Knight. I'm sorry, but just come to the Lord, man. And that's from a guy who has seen God do great stuff, who has seen God continue to use my life, who's seen God use my history and seeing God make it better and giving me a hopeful future, has seen God change things that I thought he would never do. It's coming from a guy who I've seen God do amazing things in my life. And because I want to stick around because the story isn't done, because he hadn't called me home, I stay with my story writer because I want to see him write more good things. I stay with my author because I want to see what happens when the pen is in his hand. I had the pen in my hand and I was writing my story and I got tired of seeing things that I was writing. And so I gave the pen to him. And ever since he started writing, the story has gotten better with each page turn, with each page I read. The story with Jesus has gotten better and better and better each day I live. And for someone today, that's what you got to understand. You got to understand that as you stay with him, your story is going to get better and better and better. And the biggest goof that the devil could make you think is that your story is over. No, your story isn't over. You're just tired of writing. You're just tired of your hands getting tired. Okay, if you ever wrote anything for an extended period of time, your hands start to cramp up, and you start get to cramp. You're cramping up. Okay, because you're not meant to write your own story. He is. You're not meant to have the pen in your hand. He's meant to have the pen in his. And so if that's someone today, you're like, I want to give the pen to him. I believe today's the best day that you could do it, okay? By simply saying, Lord, I need you. I forgive me of my sins. I believe that you died on the cross. And God, I want to accept you in my life as my Lord and Savior. I believe you have risen. And you saying that, just acknowledging Jesus, I want you to be my Savior. That's the best time. That is the best moment, okay, which is right now. All right, say, God, here's the pen, start writing and watch what he writes. It's going to leave you with something that will even shock you when you look and go, God, you did all of this because I just gave you the pen. So give it to him and watch what he writes for you.
I love that. And I will say, he's got some really good story writing because I've never heard a single story at the same time. Like, I've never heard two stories alike. So he has lots of creative ability.
Yes.
If you're wondering, can he really write? Oh,
Yes.
God can write some stories.
Yes.
So, well, I appreciate it, Gene. Thank you. Thank you so much. Like you spoke you at least 18 different words, and I love it.
I
Love it.
love it too. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll put all your information. Please go follow this man.
Yes.
The way he presents the word on social media is funny, but it gets to you, and I love it. If you're where's your church located again?
We are located in Antioch, California. If you're looking to go to a church and the city is in the Bible, we're the best ones. Okay, it's like, listen, okay, if you look for a church and the city in the Bible, Antioch, come on, people, to all my Bible readers, So we're located in Antioch, California. We are the Ship, and we're located 611 West 3rd Street, 94509. Again, we are a place of fellowship, worship, and discipleship, and God is moving us forward. And I would love for you, if you're in the area, if you ever come to California, someone like, I live in Zimbabwe, will slide through when you in the States, friend. All right, I love the fact that I get to pastor one of the greatest churches on this side of heaven, a place where we get to see what God is doing through other people's lives and how God is transforming and renewing people and elevating people and moving people forward to a better and brighter future than they could have ever thought. My socials, I am Gene Jackson. I am Gene Jackson on all socials. Okay, TikTok, the gram, let's see, Threads, Facebook, YouTube. I am Gene Jackson, and I'm just thankful that I got to be a part of this podcast today to let someone know that your story is about to get a lot better. So keep moving forward.
Well, y'all heard the man. Just give him the pen.
Hey.
Again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if you're on the west side, go ahead and visit him. I'm not on the west side, but I don't know if God's calling me to the west side. I feel like he is, and I'm just being resistant.
Ah!
Because that's me. But thank you so much. Y'all heard the man. And that's it. Thank you. And we out.
We out.
Bye, everybody.